Hey guys, and welcome back to Dark Souls Remastered. My name is Rob, and before I progress with the rest of Ulasil today, maybe not the rest of it, but before I go further, I wanted to talk to old Domhall of Xena.
Aye, Shemai. I didn't expect to meet anybody here. I suppose great minds think alike, eh?
I don't know that I've spoken to him since completing Blighttown, but after you complete it, this is where he'll be. And anyway, he sells the Master Key, if you didn't pick it as one of your starting, or as your starting gift, which I don't need it, but this universal key opens any basic lock, tool of the trade for thieves, hence it's the thief's starting gift. But in the cursed land of the undead, most doors are better left unopened. I disagree. I think all doors should be open because they usually have trinkets and collectibles behind them. But anyway, other than the stuff that we already know that he sells, he also sells boss armor, also bosses that you defeat in the DLC. Or not just the DLC, but yeah. Anyway, Artorias, his stuff. Armor of Artorias the Abyss Walker, one of Gwyn's four knights. The death of the armor's owner can be surmised from the corrosive dark of the abyss and the tattered azure blue cape, once a symbol of pride and glory. And the musty azure blue tassel, also a symbol of pride and glory. Yeah, the darkness of the abyss has compromised the protective utility of his armor, which if you look closely at it, you can see that it's kind of worn down and, yeah, doesn't look that great. He'll also sell Gwyn's armor set and Gwendolyn's armor set, which I'm realizing now I have not fought Gwendolyn as a boss. Why haven't I done that?
I'm afraid I don't see anything here.
Oh, you don't? Well, let me buy... whatever, I'll buy the Master Key.
I'm afraid I don't see anything here.
Oh, he doesn't care. Okay. How about a Crystal Straight Sword?
I'm afraid I don't see anything here.
Are you serious, man? Hang on. Maybe I have to actually spend a lot. I'm wanting to be a cheapo here. So Golem Gauntlets. I don't want to buy a 20,000 soul piece of armor.
I'm afraid I don't see anything here.
Have I really gotten all of his dialogue already and just forgot? Maybe.
I'm afraid I don't...
Huh.
Thank you. That was... I have the... And we'll make...
Maybe I've gotten all of his dialogue. I don't know. It's actually taken me a really long time to record all these parts with a lot of breaks in between. So, I may very well have exhausted his dialogue in a previous episode and just not even remember it. Which would be a very Roka Souls thing to do. But anyway. Let's go on back to Ulasil Township and continue with the Artorias of the Abyss DLC. Oh yeah, and while I'm reading item descriptions, we also got his soul, and the soul of the Guardian as well. Let's read those. Soul of the white-winged lion sanctuary watchkeeper, who dreaded the spread of the abyss. The Guardian exhibited traits of several animals other than lions, suggesting that it was no ordinary beast, but rather closer to the beings known as demons. Like from Izalith? I don't know. But if you look closely at Artorias' soul, it's not bright like the other ones. It's dark. What's going on with Artorias' dark soul? Soul of Lord Gwyn's knight Artorias, who was consumed by the abyss. He was consumed by the abyss. I thought he made a covenant with it. The legend that Artorias repelled the abyss only told half of the story. Do tell. It seems that he was defeated and his honor preserved by some unsung hero who is the true victor over the abyss. Huh. Now who could the unsung hero be who's the victor over the abyss? It's me. Let's see. Can I level up with the souls I've got? Yes. I'll just keep pumping dex until I get it to 40. Because more damage is more better. Let's see here. If you reload the area, next to where you have killed Knight Artorias is an NPC. Next to a little small makeshift grave here. If you'll remember, or have I gotten that yet? Oh, I actually haven't. I'll hold on to that thought until I get to that part of the game. It won't be in this part, but it'll be in a future one. But I'll come back to that.
You.
Anyway.
Is that not the soul of the man who fell on this spot? He was a dear friend. I wish to pay proper respect with that soul. Would you be willing to part with it?
If you choose yes, she'll give you her weapon, both of her weapons. But if you want to get her armor, you do have to fight her, unfortunately. I don't have anything against Kieran, but for the sake of the lore.
Yes, of course. I must not be presumptuous. Artorias would not have approved.
Yeah. I wonder. I don't think I've ever kicked her out of that animation. No, doesn't show her weapons. Funnily enough. Herc. Erg. Ooh. Anyway. Let's see here. Before I do all that, I want to talk to Chester again. Which I don't think when you first talk to Marvelous Chester, I don't think he reveals that to be his name.
Oh, still alive, are you? Think of anything that you might need? Did you really slay Knight Artorias? I'd heard the Abyss found him first, but even still, that's absolutely treacherous. Yes, magnificently so.
I wonder why exactly he thinks that's treacherous. Is it because he thought so highly of Artorias, or is it because he knows the story that was passed down of Artorias being like this great hero and everything?
Believe it or not, Ulysses has brought the Abyss upon itself, fooled by that toothy serpent. They upturned the grave of primeval man and incited his ornery wrath. What could they have been thinking? But to you and I, it's all ancient history. You have to ask yourself, does it really matter?
Does it matter? It is ancient history to us, but it's also the present because, again, time is convoluted in Dark Souls. But notice he talked about a toothy serpent. Now, where have we met a toothy serpent in the game Dark Souls? King Seeker Frampt? No? I would imagine it's the other one that you only meet by beating the four kings before ever talking to Frampt, Darkstalker Koth, which I may show in a different playthrough if I end up doing like some New Game Plus stuff with this Let's Play. Whoop. Let's see if he has anything else to say.
Oh, so long.
Yeah, so, anyway. Chester knows a lot more about the world than he would like to let on. Kieran is an NPC I don't really like to kill. Let's just get it over with.
You humans, always taking what you please. Then I shall do the same.
Always taking what you please. She obviously doesn't have a very high opinion of humans. Which is strange considering she seems to be of the pygmy variety. Like a human. Whoa! Huh. She hit me, but it doesn't seem like my toxic meter went up any. Oh, there it goes. She actually landed the stabby hit with that silver tracer. Oh, now she's two-handing it. You'll notice that she holds the gold tracer in her left hand, the offhand, and she's maining the dark silver tracer. Unless she's, like, just left-handed. She does some serious damage there.
But how?
But you just basically ran into my sword.
My dear Arthur.
Yeah, it kind of cuts off there near the end of her dialogue, but you can safely assume she was trying to say, my dear Artorias. I mean, obviously, she feels something for the guy. She made a little grave for him and was asking for his soul. Anyway, you kill her, she drops her weapons that you could have gotten by giving her Artorias' soul. But you gotta kill her to get her armor. She won't give you that otherwise. And, I mean, all of that stuff does have some interesting lore attached to it, so let's give it a read. The porcelain mask, especially. Mask of the Lord's Blade Kieran, one of Gwyn's 4 knights. She was one of Gwyn's 4 knights. The Cyclops headpiece is common to all of the Lord's Blades, but Kieran was determined to earn this soft porcelain mask as a unique decoration of honor. The mask is lined with ivory locks of hair, which are not her own. Interestingly enough, the Cyclops headpiece is common to all of the Lord's Blades. So she was one. I'm assuming the Lord's Blades are like just probably a group of assassins that Gwyn would employ, with Kieran being the leader of them since she was one of Gwyn's 4 knights. The 4 knights being Kieran, Artorias, Hawkeye Goff, and Ornstein, the Dragon Slayer. Why is the mask lined with ivory locks of hair? I don't know. Kieran, she's an odd one. Robe of the Lord's Blade. Kieran, one of Gwyn's 4 knights, a robe common to all of the Lord's Blades. These deadly women shift nimbly between layers of darkness, etching streaks of gold into the night air and planting visions of terror into the minds of their targets. Yeah, basically. The weapons are really cool. Really, really good dex weapons. The Dark Silver Tracer is a dagger. A dark silver dagger used by the Lord's Blade Kieran of Gwyn's 4 knights. The victim is first distracted by dazzling streaks of the gold tracer, then stung by the vicious poison of this dagger. It's a special, unique R2 that inflicts toxic. And this dagger has an S scaling with dex, 25 dex requirement, and has the highest critical damage modifier of anything in the game, I believe, with a critical damage modifier of 160. Weighs a little more than a standard dagger at 1 unit of weight, but it's still pretty worth it because this thing wreaks havoc with backstabs and riposte, especially with the Hornet Ring. You get the Gold Tracer, which is a Falchion-type weapon. A scaling in dex, 25 dex requirement, 300 bleed damage. This thing is nasty in PvE and PvP. Curved sword used by the Lord's Blade Kieran, one of Lord Gwyn's 4 knights. Kieran brandishes her sword in a mesmerizing dance, etching the darkness with dire streaks of gold. Dire streaks of gold. Yeah, so apparently the Gold Tracer is supposed to be like showy and everything. And then you like actually use you distract with this kind of stuff here. And then you like stab with the Dark Silver Tracer. But everyone knows the professional way to use a Gold Tracer is just two-hand it and just mash R1 like crazy. Yeah. That's how you demolish new players. Hey, you know what? I haven't been using the Uchigatana. Let's use that. Speaking of bleeding weapons, this will work fine in this next area here, killing the monsters. Oh yeah, there's this whole PvP arena thing. You walk into the gazebo. You receive the purple coward's crystal. And you have all these scoreboards and stuff, which I'm not going to bother really looking at. Well, you know what? I might know some of these people. View plaque of life. Oh wait, I'm offline. I can't look at it anyway. Duh. But anyway, victory in this battle once led to ancient Anor Londo, but even in the absence of its overseer, capitulation is a disgrace. In the name of a warrior's honor, do not quickly resort to use of this crystal. It's kind of the black crystal of the PvP arena. Just it sends you home. It like ends the thing or whatever, the battle. But it's interesting there that the gazebo was used for getting to Anor Londo seemingly before Sin's Fortress was. So it's kind of like the proving ground for Silver Knights, I'm guessing. Which for some reason kind of makes me think of the Abyss Watchers in Dark Souls 3 and how, you know, they just kind of fight each other and stuff. And kind of, I don't know. I don't know why it makes me think of that, but it did. Anywho. Got some new enemies here, these corrupted looking weird guys here with really long limbs. Or arms anyway. Their legs don't seem all that disproportionately long, but they have these big werewolf hands and heads like a beehive on it and lots of eyes. Could have easily been an enemy in Bloodborne. It's kind of I think Miyazaki was probably under a lot of the same inspiration making this DLC that he was under while making Bloodborne. Whoa! Yeah, these guys hit really hard. So poise definitely helps. Ow. Stop it. They drop large Titanite shards. They have a chance of dropping their head, which you can wear as a hat. Because Dark Souls. Now, obviously, the Forest of Ulasil is a thing, like, it's supposed to be Darkroot Garden, but then Ulasil, the city itself, is gone by like the present day of Dark Souls. Actually, I think it's supposed to have been swallowed by the Abyss, with the forest surviving somehow. Yeah. And if you look down, like, it gets really dark the further you go down. Like, you can tell that the darkness is kind of creeping up. Large Titanite shard. I was hoping it would be his head. Oh well. Alright, and we have another new corrupted enemy, which is a really mean wizard. They throw Dark Orb, and they're capable of casting Dark Bead. And like all the really nasty dark spells. Abyss spells, whatever you call them. They become hexes in the next two Dark Souls games. They're originally just like Abyss sorceries or whatever. Alright, so if you're in human form, gonna be invaded by Chester himself, which I'm going to fight with a halberd. There we go. He is a big jerk face, and he fights differently from all the other NPCs. Uses a sniper crossbow, and he has like these bleeding throwing knives he can throw at you. He has a kick there, which has hyper armor on it. Yeah, see, like, if you hit him during that animation, he just poises through whatever you hit him with. Yeah, there he is throwing those throwing knives, which kind of look like roses. Yeah. Or red darts or something like that. I don't know. I may have to slow down the action so that we can see exactly what they're supposed to look like. But yeah, without his little hyper armor spinny kick thing, he actually doesn't have any poise. So why does he invade right there? Who knows? And then if you go and talk to his NPC, he has the nerve to be mad at you. Even though he's the one that invaded. What a poor sport. Salty casual. Alright, let's venture down here. You can explore in these buildings just a little bit. How do I get that? Guess I have to go down this way first. Probably. Oof. Yeah, there are... sorry wizards everywhere, and he totally saw that coming. He was getting ready to blast my face with dark bead. Thankfully, I was able to kill him. Ugh. And all this dark magic does so much poise damage. It's ridiculous. We get Dark Orb. Just one of the spells they're casting. Let's have a look at that. Abyss sorcery discovered by an Ulasil sorcerer on the brink of madness. Fire giant Dark Orb. In contrast to standard soul sorceries, Abyss sorceries are weighty and inflict physical damage. Perhaps human souls, because of their humanity, produce sorceries with more tangible presence. So it's like, it would seem due to the presence of the Abyss, they're able to produce these weird sorceries somehow that are unique to humans, maybe? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to imagine Seath casting Abyss sorceries. Like, he came up with the soul sorceries, but it seemed that the Pygmy or whoever came up with these Abyss sorceries due to the influence of the humanity running wild. I don't know. Let's see. I got an I'm sorry carving. Let's read the description on that. Where is it? There it is. Head carved of arch trees by Goth in his imprisonment. Goth imparts an emotion to each and every completed carving, which helps him achieve personal enlightenment. When a head is disturbed, it speaks, reflecting the emotion conferred to it. This head says, I'm sorry. Have another look. Isn't that an expression of atonement? And basically the way these things work, with Dark Souls having its limited communication between players, you can kind of do stuff like this.
I'm sorry.
Kind of like an emote with sound instead of gestures. I don't know. They can be kind of fun to use. Let me see. That item up there, I wanted to get that, but now I'm not entirely sure how. When you stand by this wall, you hear a unique sound here. Like a quaking sound. And then there's this developer message that says, let there be light. Oh, and I pressed the circle button at the wrong time. Okay, let me actually drop down here and get this item. There we go. Okay, let's maybe try to get that thing there without failing so hard. I knew I heard footsteps. Come here. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So developer message, let there be light. You can use whatever light source, whether it's the sunlight maggot, hidden body, not hidden, but what am I doing? I'm losing my mind. Cast light. Man, that was a senior moment. Anyway, whatever light source you have on hand, cast light, sunlight maggot, whatever it may be. You can do that, which leads to this room with a silver pendant. Now, what in the world is a silver pendant doing tucked away like this? As important of an item as it would be, you would think it would have been on Artorias' person. Silver pendant engraved with the crest of Artorias, one of the ancient treasures of Anor Londo, presented to Artorias forefacing the abyss, effectively deflects the dark of the abyss, especially in its magic forms. Yeah, obviously he should have been carrying it with him. And maybe he would have been spared from the abyss. Who knows? Let's jump over here and jump over here. A crystal lizard spawns on that roof, but I'm not worried about him. Let's see here. There's a mimic. And I think this one drops one of the wood carvings, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Very good wood carving. I hear gunshots. Freaking Jackson, Mississippi, y'all. Don't move here. Unless you just love hearing gunshots at night. That's all I have to say about that. I could say more, but I'm not gonna. Alright, got another one of these wizardy guys. They can actually drop their catalyst and their unique little weird headpiece too. But this one dropped neither. That's okay. Lots of these guys running around. There's one on the other side of this wall. See if I can... Yeah, there we go. Let's see. There's going to be another one that drops down from above. Yeah, there he is. Hey, guy. I'm about to go down into a room full of them. A whole bunch of these guys everywhere, and wizards and everything. This is a nasty little room here. So the way I like to approach it, instead of just going down the steps, I like to get a nice little run and start and jump off of this ledge and plunging attack that wizard for one thing. He drops something that I can't pick up. I'm assuming it's Titanite or something. And then if you have a bow, this little section here is a lot easier. Because you can just shoot at these guys and pull them in from a distance. Otherwise, you just kind of have to ease forward, get their attention little by little. But a bow is an excellent utility for this. Doesn't even have to be upgraded. You don't even have to have the stats for it. I don't know how I'm missing him. There we go. Another large Titanite shard. I'm not sure what... That must be a green Titanite shard. That's the only thing I can think of in my inventory that would be maxed out. There we go. Come on. Come on. One at a time, because I don't want to be ganked. I love the running attack with katanas. So good. Let's get you. Matter of fact, I could just shoot you dead the rest of the way. Oh, look at there. He jumped. Him smart. Yeah, that Abyss Wizard, Sorcerer, whatever, hasn't aggroed on me. Thankfully. Alright. Now, actually just going to take him out from a safe distance if I can, like, not hit an invisible wall there. Yeah, he likes to move around, and sometimes he'll fall down from there. But once you start attacking him, he can definitely attack back, so be careful. There we go. Right, and there's a corpse hanging from a rope up there, or a chain. You can shoot it down with your bow. It's another Abyss sorcery called Dark Fog. Let's have a look at that. Abyss sorcery discovered by an Ulasil sorcerer on the brink of madness create a cloud of dark fog. Although dark fog is in theory relatively close to humanity, it also happens to be a terrible poison for humans. Perhaps it reflects man's cruelty against his own. Yeah, mankind is pretty cruel to itself at the end of the day. Alrighty. Whoa. See here. Ow. Okay, so from here, I'm going to come back to that area here in a second, but there's a little bit to explore right here. If you look over, you see a treasure chest, but it's out of reach. Like, you can't jump to it. But there's that noise again. Remember what that noise indicates? Yeah. And if you're playing online, people usually put a little sign down there where you can see, like, there's a secret ahead or whatever. So this over here just kind of randomly, it's a red titanite chunk. There's no red titanite slab in the DLC. You can get a blue slab, a regular slab, and I think a white slab as well? But then they didn't put a red slab in the DLC, and I have no idea why. Weird. I feel like they should have done that. But anyway, you roll down here, and we get to the source of all that cackling laughter. It's him, and he's pointing and laughing at that chest there, and us. I wonder if he'll break the table. No, he's just kind of derping out. Go home, dude, you're drunk. But yeah, that's a mimic. If you look at him from a distance, he's pointing and laughing at the mimic. I guess because he thinks mimics are funny. I don't find them very funny. I like to kill them. There we go. Dead, because you deserve it. We get the crest key. Let's read up on that, shall we? Bent crest key. The grooves of the crest are enchanted. The door sealed with a powerful spell. Very vague. Doesn't tell you much. Let's see, and over here, if you go down this ladder, this puts you out where that sorcerer is, where you can cut down that chain that gets you dark fog. Out here, if you want to go further into the area, you can kind of drop down. And I think that if you drop down on the roof, you can get some twin humanity, which I'll demonstrate here in a bit. But I want to see where else you can go here. Where is this? Yeah, that just kind of goes in a loop there. That takes you back around. Okay, yeah. So we'll go ahead and go forward and get this twin humanity out here. You got to drop down here. Don't drop down too far. Go up over the roof, and there it is. Some twin humanities on a corpse. Yep, we're getting deeper and deeper into the abyss-ridden Ulasil. Reminds me a good bit of Sanctum or wherever it is in Dark Souls 2. How it's like an underground cavern, but this isn't actually underground. This is just going deeper and deeper into the earth, into a chasm. And of course, this doorway just leads back into here. Let's fix it. Open up a big shortcut for if you die in this area to where you don't have to go through all that again. And there it is. Back here now. Elevator leads to a lot of silly shenanigans in PvP. This coming up area here is just dang near diabolical. There are two sorcerers who will spam magic at you, and multiple of those little guys who, as soon as you walk out, they'll all jump out and try to gank you. So you gotta be quick. And you can also be crafty by using Hidden Body, which I think helps. It keeps the sorcerers from seeing you, and that's helpful. Doesn't stop you from being ganked though, so be careful. And basically you just kind of want to stay behind pillars to avoid getting hit by magic. Well, he said challenge accepted, and he bonked me on the head. But yeah. Now that Hidden Body is gone, they can see me. And they're just going to spam magic forever. I was pretty sure there was another little melee dude. Maybe not. Whoa! Hey, you just kind of want to take cover, let them throw out an attack, and then retaliate. And he almost got me with Dark Bead. If you take all of those orbs straight to the face, then it will wreck your business. Tell you what. Okay, and now for what appears to be like a little boss arena. This actually makes me think of Vort of the Boreal Valley in Dark Souls 3, like entering into his boss room. But you come in here and there's no boss. It's actually just a weird enemy. A really weird enemy. I think was meant to be a boss at one point, but now he's kind of a mini boss. He has legs kind of like the Guardians, but then he's got all these chains and a stick coming out of his back, and I don't know, he's an odd thing. He can break these statues too. They're all headless and they all seem to be holding Ulasil catalysts. They appear to be dressed the way Gwendolyn is, strangely enough. Whoop! That attack is very damaging. Fights kind of sort of like Artorias in a way. Similar movesets. Yeah, light weapons will bounce off of him, which is why I switched to the Claymore. And he drops pieces of the chain set randomly. For some reason. Alright, you call up the elevator. Knock that guy out of the way, and another large Titanite shard. It's a shame I have not gotten any of their hats. Oh well. Yeah, now we're really getting dark. All these cells that have been ripped open. Huh, what's going on in here? Nothing. That's coloring, just it makes it stick out more than the rest of the wall. Alrighty. Let's see here. Gonna put another point into dexterity. And with the souls I have left, let me warp on over to back to the township. I can warp back down to the dungeon if I need to. Alrighty. We got that crest key, so let's come over here and put it to use. If you go up this way, we'll come up to the door that the crest key unlocks. More of these statues that are headless and appear to be holding the white branch catalyst or whatever. The Ulasil ivory catalyst. Is it just me, or do they look like they're dressed in robes that are reminiscent of Gwendolyn? That's exactly what that reminds me of. Huh. I don't know. Anyway, you use the crest key. Climb up the ladder. And there's a big old friendly giant making his wood carvings, recording his voice on them. And he's got a really big bow. This is none other than Hawkeye Golf.
A visitor, have we? Thou must be the one who freed Artorias. That old friend he was. Thanks to thee, he left this world with honor intact. And here I am, retired and blind. Of little help to thee, I'm afraid.
So you can purchase dung pies, homeward bones, prism stones, and more carvings. This head says, hello. Have another look. Do you sense the amicability in its eyes? This head says, thank you. Have another look. Is this not a face of gratitude? I don't know. He sells titanite, and he sells his great arrows. Great arrow used by Hawkeye Golf, one of Lord Gwyn's 4 knights, for dragon slaying. Requires great bow. Golf personally crafts each stone tip and wraps the shaft tightly with tree bark. Custom made stuff.
If thou seekest to explore this domain, be wary of a black dragon. I fear thee no match for this terrible beast. Me, there's very little to be said. What good is a dog with no hairs to hunt? But I'm lucky to be alive, I suppose. Me, there's very... What good is a dog? But I'm lucky to be alive, I suppose.
That's all he has to say for now.
Farewell, human. Lead thy life as thou seest fit.
Definitely seems to be a peaceful fellow. He warns us of a black dragon, Calamite. Says that we'd be no match for him, and he's not wrong. And he also thanks us for freeing Artorias. He seemed to have known of the state that Artorias was in. Yeah. And he's glad that we kind of put him out of his misery. He says he's retired and blind. Except there's a hint in his, if you kill him and get his armor, and even if you just look closely, like look at his helmet, it's clogged up and mucked up with, I think the game says like pine sap or pine resin or something like that. Hinting that he may not necessarily be blind. He just can't see through his helmet and never bothered to take it off. Maybe. That seems to be a possible implication with him. So, yeah, I don't know. That's just Dark Souls being its quirky self. Oh, let me see. Let's run on back to the bonfire here. Kindled up the one at the township because it's good one to have kindled up to 20. Can't do much else with my souls. I could buy random stuff, but at this point in the game, eh. Alright. That is going to do it for this part. In the next part, we will delve deeper and deeper into the abyss and see about conquering it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you soon with more Dark Souls Remastered. Until then, y'all take care.